Welcome back. North Carolina executions could resume after nearly 2 decades on hold. So now that Iryna's law is officially in effect, the law allows for alternate methods of execution, including the firing squad and electric chair. Dina Harley joining us live now outside of Central Prison in Raleigh. I know this is a tough topic to talk about, Dina, where most of those death row inmates are living right behind you. Some of those offenders have been there for decades.
Yeah, take Wayne Laws, for example. He is the longest serving death row inmate in North Carolina. He's been incarcerated in Central Prison since 1985. It's people like him that Republican lawmakers say should face the ultimate punishment for their crimes.
It's certainly a sincere attempt, I believe, by the Republican leaders of the General Assembly to restart executions. So certainly it's moving in that direction.
A Republican push to restart death penalty executions in North Carolina is on, with Iryna's law now in effect as of this week. The law includes facets that expedite the death penalty and allows for alternate methods of execution, including the firing squad and the electric chair. So, who is most vulnerable on North Carolina's death row? Likely the people who have been there the longest, like Wayne Laws. He was convicted in 1985 of beating 2 people to death in Davidson County and leaving their bodies on a dirt road. A few years later, Jerry Connor received the death penalty. He was convicted in 1990 of a brutal double murder where he confessed to raping and killing a woman inside of a Gates County store and then killing her mother as well. In their decades spent on death row, both Laws and Connor have unsuccessfully appealed their death sentences. But Iryna's law changes that process too, forcing all appeals to be done within 2 years of sentencing. Some political experts have concerns about the constitutionality of that.
70% of death sentences are eventually overturned on appeal, but sometimes it takes 10 or 20 years before those appeals reach their way through the courts, and sometimes new information, new evidence is revealed later.
Some of the state's most notorious killers could also be vulnerable. Take Henry Louis Wallace, a man dubbed the Taco Bell Strangler and the state's most prolific serial killer. He was convicted in 1997 in Mecklenburg County in the murders of 11 women. His crime spanned 22 months, causing terror in the Charlotte area. There's also Blanche Taylor Moore, arguably the state's most well-known serial killer. Moore, one of only 2 women in the state on death row, was convicted in 1990 of slowly and painfully poisoning and killing her boyfriend in Forsyth County. But after investigators exhumed several bodies of people close to her, she was accused of killing her husband, her mother-in-law, and her father, too, and attempting to kill another husband. These crimes shock the conscience, but some political experts say the back-and-forth battle of executions in the state is akin to psychological torture for the inmates.
There's people who would certainly say, well, that's too bad. You're on death row for a reason. So what's the concern about your psychological or emotional state of being? But they were convicted and sentenced to death, not to slow torture. That's a different punishment.
The executions won't start overnight. There's still litigation to be heard over the Racial Justice Act and potential new lawsuits over Iryna's law itself, but political experts say it's a major step from Republicans to carry out decades-old sentences.
Of course, it'll be litigated, but the law allows for alternative methods of execution, so if one is found to be unacceptable, then the intent of the legislature certainly is clear that there should be another. Even if it's the firing squad.
And there still will be major hurdles for those executions to actually start in North Carolina. For example, in our state, the Attorney General actually needs to kind of authorize the prison staff here to set an execution date for an inmate. But that is unclear if that will happen with a Democratic Attorney General in office. Also, of course, Democratic Governor Josh Stein has some say in this as well, and he has already said that executions, at least with the electric chair firing squad, will not happen while he's governor of North Carolina. In Raleigh, Dina Harley, Queen City News.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.